Hello, Aqua here. Welcome to a little short video, hopefully short, showing how to automate the manufacture of the AE2 processors. Now, there's going to be two parts to this. It's going to, first of all, I'm going to do it just without an AE system, and then I'm going to show you how you can add an AE system on really simple and make it into so it just uses two channels and is part of your AE auto crafting. So first up, we are going to put a few things down on here. I've got some Ender.io conduit. This is using Applied Energistics and Ender.io, and I don't think anything else. I'm using a thermal expansion creative energy source, but I think it's just AE2 and Ender.io. So what you need is some ME conduit. This just keeps things a little tidier, and you need some item conduit. Actually, need to be in creative for this because I'm going to use it up, aren't I? And I want some of these, and some of them for now, and them for guys. So first of all, we're going to put 5 of these inscribers down. Inscribers pretty straightforward, just like that. You always want to use the pure fluix. Oops. I don't like the way the conduit does that. When you break something on it, you always want to use the pure fluix when you're making stuff like this. Pure fluix and pure certus always, and you do that by, you can double it up. So make sure you always double your certus because it is worth doubling up. Anything that uses normal certus can use the pure. So we've got 5 of these inscribers, and we want one charger on the end there. Charger is what lets you make certus quartz into charged certus quartz, and that's going to go there. Cool. And get rid of that, and then we want these guys. So get the right order. I want engineering's gold, logic is diamond. Don't have to be the right order, to be honest, it just makes it a bit easier later on. Calculation is pure certus, and silicon press goes in there. So that's them 4 guys. Now what we want to do is get a Yeta wrench. There we go. I just want to disconnect that and disconnect that, keep things tidy. So basically what we've got here, we've got a line of inscribers and a charger on a piece of ME conduit, and we've got a power source. So I'm using an energy acceptor. Later on when we connect this to the ME network, we no longer need this, but earlier on you're going to need to be able to put ME power into this. So you see there it's got 3000 RF. If you look on Whaler at the top of my screen, that's getting power from there. So for now we need that, later on we don't. So there you go, that's your first bit. Second, we need to get some item conduit into these things. So if you look in here, you've got a top slot, middle slot and a bottom. What we want to do with these is we want to be feeding in from the left. We'll do these 4 first, we'll do that one later on. Feed in from the left, and what we want is we want to set this so that it's insert. What I'm going to do actually is Ender.io, little funky thing from Ender.io. It's going to help me out greatly here. There's a conduit probe. If we shift mouse wheel onto the copy, and then if I shift right click that, I can now right click these and it sets them to the same settings, which is very nice. So that's set them to input, and these want to be left on output on the right hand side. So this is where the right hand side is where your thing outputs from, yeah. And to make this a bit easier, we're going to put acceleration cards in all these to make things craft quicker. You can fit 3 acceleration cards in each of your inscribers, which greatly increases the crafting speed when we're making stuff. So that's all them in there. Now what we want to do is we want to put filters in each of these for what we want to go in there. So have I got any filters? Nope. Let's grab some. I'll need some of them later on as well. So basically what we want is we want to say silicon. Let's grab one of them. We want a pure certus quartz, we want a gold, and we want a diamond for now. And if I remember rightly then, so this was engineering, wasn't it? Yeah, so engineering I believe is a gold one. So we were going to say this will accept gold and nothing else. I believe the second one was a diamond one. So this will accept diamond and nothing else. And the third one was the pure certus quartz one. And then the 4th one will be the silicon one. There we go. We also need to get things out of the strong box into them. So we're going to want a that set to export, we want to put a filter in there. We want these same 4 things to be able to come out of this chest and nothing else. So them 4 things there, and now what we can do is we can connect this up like so. And to keep things tidy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a wrench under here, and I'm going to disable that so the conduit is not touching there, just to make things a little bit clearer. So what I can do now is can I copy that? I don't know. Yeah, I think I should be able to. Let's have a look at this. I'll copy that and then go paste, paste, and paste. I've got step assist on, it's not actually helping. That one is going to want things going in the bottom, so that doesn't want to be like that, and that one, right, so they're fine. So basically what you've got there is you've got things can come out of the chest, they can come into the side, the left hand side of these 4 things, and they can come out the right hand side. So I want to set that to always active, and we'll copy that. We'll set that to always active, that to always active, and that one to always active. Cool. So now what you should see is if I drop these things in here, bam, 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 bam. Oh, that needs to be set to always active as well. What you should see is they've all gone, and that needs to be set to in out actually. Silly me. That needs to be in out. There we go. They've all gone, and they should come back in here. And have I done them to the wrong way around? I've done them to the wrong way around. There we go. So as you can see, they've all crafted and they've come back in here, which is exactly what we wanted. Wonderful. So that gets you your first bit done. Then second, I find it easier putting the chest in between these 2 sections. So second, we want to go here, and this also wants to be in and out. And this one we want an advanced item filter because we're going to use more than 5 slots, so I want it a bit bigger. And I'll keep all of them for now. And what we're going to want to tell this one to do is we want it to feed out a couple more things actually. We want them 4 things. We also want a redstone, and we want a quartz crystal. Cool. So on our, we don't want it on the insert, we want it on the extract. There we go. We want it to say we want you to be able to extract silicon, redstone, our 3 printed things, and quartz. So that we'll be able to put them out where they need to go, and we'll have that so that it's always active. Excellent. This one we're going to be wanting feeding in from all 3 sides on this one and feeding out from the right. So with this one, let's make it day so it's a bit easy to see, and let's just break that, make it easier as well. And it's the only problem with these conduits, you've got to get underneath them to connect things, which is a little bit awkward. So there, and there. So we've connected all 4 sides of that one, and so now we need to tell what we want to go into each side. So silicon goes in the bottom, so we want insert, filter, silicon, printed silicon of course, and then in the right hand side we have got insert, redstone. In the top we want it to be able to insert these 3, that, or that, or that, and then output, we want it to be able to output anything, always active. So that's that sorted. So now what we do, if we put this stuff in here, it should disappear, and it'll print one of them out because we've only got one to print. We've only got 1 bit of silicon. So there we go. Print as a logic processor. Let's get 2 more redstone, and so 2 more silicon, and so chuck that in there and that in there. First of all, it's going to make the silicon into printed silicon. You can see it in the inscriber there. Then it's going to feed them in there, and there we go. We have got now a engineering processor, a logic processor, and a calculation processor. So by just chucking things in this strong box, we have automatically crafted them. So that's that bit done. I'll just do the charger bit while I'm here. So this also will put out, as we saw, Certus quartz crystal. What we want to do is we want to tell that to feed in on a filter Certus quartz crystal into the charger, and we want to be able to pull out the bottom. Have I stuck that there? Don't want to do that. Extract out the bottom, and we want a charged Certus quartz. Which is why I've got some in there ready. So it uses quite a lot of filters, this, but I think it's worth it. Filters, hoppers, so iron and wood and paper. So it's possibly a little bit expensive on iron. Yep, charged Certus quartz crystal. So now what you should see is if we throw a Certus quartz in there, that gets put in there, that gets changed to a charge, and I need to make that so it's always active. And then there we go, we have automated also charged Certus quartz. So that is your basic setup. Anytime you want any of the things, you need to throw in a silicon, a redstone, and whatever. I keep saying redstone, it's wrong. Silicon, a redstone, and either a diamond, a piece of gold, or a pure Certus quartz crystal in there. That will automatically create them for you. Wonderful. Now what we want to do is we want to add it so it's on our ME network and it only uses 2 channels. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to get rid of the energy acceptor and that energy cell. And I thought I'd turn that aroma back up off from my test worlds, but it looks like I have not. That's because it's a new world. So now we've got a little ME system here, and basically I'm using 1 channel coming out to this pattern terminal, and I've got an ME chest with a 64k cell and some bits in. And what we're going to do is we are going to run. I don't know why I just didn't click on the middle of that, but we're going to run this. I'll go the long way around because it doesn't matter how much of this we're using, but this is where your ME system would come into this system wherever it comes from. I'm actually going to keep it separate from them for now. So what I actually want to do is I want to reach the box here. So I want it to go there, there, and I'm actually going to replace that one with that. There we go. So it's the easiest way to, let's come up here. There we go. So this is your normal ME network. I'm kind of doing it, keeping it separate from the ME conduit here, even though I could just connect it to this end and do a little bit of playing around over there a bit, but I want to do it for clarity and keep this separate. So we've got a connection to our ME network, wherever that's from, wherever that is in your base, and we've got it down here. Now 2 things we want for this is we want a ME import bus and a ME interface, and we want a capacity card for the import bus. So import bus goes on the back of your strongbox, and while we're there, we want a capacity card in there, and we want to tell this the only things to import are these 3 calculation processors and charged Certus quartz. That's the only things we want to put this to pull out. So that's the only things that I'll pull out. And you can see there that's using 1 channel, little blue line there. And on top of here we want a ME interface. There we go. So what should happen? Yeah, it's pulled everything out because I didn't have the filter on. Oh no, I've took everything out already. So that's all good. Right, so we've got 2 channels used. As you can see, 2 blue lines, 2 channels used, and we're not crafting anything at the minute. That's all empty. What I want to do now is, in here, we need to create patterns for these. So, first of all, we actually need to create 1 printed silicon. Thank you. Where's it gone? It's gone in there. Come here, you. So we are going to say this is a processing pattern, and we're going to say 1 printed silicon, 1 gold, and 1 redstone equals. No, we're not going to say printed silicon at all. I am lying to you. We're going to say normal silicon. Normal silicon, a gold, and a redstone creates us that. We're going to create a blank pattern. for that. 1. And then we're going to do the same for diamond. And we're going to do the same for pure Certus quartz, which is the calculation. There we go. 3 patterns. And finally, let's clear that out. We are going to do the same for 1 Certus quartz becomes 1 charged Certus quartz. I'm going to bin the rest of that charged Certus quartz just for clarity. There we go. And we've got a pattern there for that. So now what we need to do is, in our ME interface here, we put these 4 patterns in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So all good. I can bin that. And bin all this stuff now. And we should be good to go with auto crafting. So let's get rid of them as well. So now if we look in this terminal here, I want to craft, let's go with 16 of them. Let's go with 10. And it's telling me that it's going to use 90 bytes. We've got redstone available, we've got silicon available, we've got diamonds available. We're going to craft 10 of them. And I've not done a crafting CPU. I knew I'd forget something. Yeah. So basic crafting CPU, we want to get a 64K storage. We'll get a crafting monitor. We'll get 2 core processing units, because that's generally what I'm making with. So we can add these over here. So I want to go there. I'll have that facing that way. Nice. And there. Cool. So there's your basic crafting thing. I've got a 64K storage there, so it can do lots of crafting, lots of bytes. These core processing units do subcrafts, which we don't actually need for this bit. In fact, just do that. In fact, I could even do a 1K there for what we're making. 1K crafting unit. Let's keep it simple, stupid. There we go. So now let's try that again. Craft 10 of them. Everything's good to go. Bam. What that's going to do is the ME interface is going to throw the bits in there that it needs. That's going to get processed because we've got the little Ender IO conduit set up to process the things, and it's coming nice and fast. While we're doing it, let's also ask for 10 charged Certus quartz. No processors available because it's already doing something. So it's limited because we've only got 1 crafting processor at a time. So there we go. But what we should have now is, there we go, 10 engineering processors. Now we can make 10 of them. So it's obviously your ME system's probably going to be bigger than this by the time you want to automate this anyway. There we go. Now that's doing the 10 of them. So there you go, fully automated, with or without ME. So the first automated by chucking things in a strong box, but then fully automated from your ME network, using only 3 channels if you include the crafting thing there, but 2 channels if you're just talking about that bit, because you're going to have these crafting CPUs anyway if you're doing any kind of auto crafting. And there we go, we've got 7. That's it's like a chance thing. Sometimes it happens real quick. You see in Whaler when it changes to charged, it uses 3000 RF and then goes again. So there you go, we've got 10 of them guys now, charged Certus quartz, wonderful. And just to show you, let's go with 10 of them. And I'm sure you get the pattern. Throws things in the strong box. The ME conduits, the Ender IO conduit system puts them into the right inscribers, brings them back into the strong box, and the filtered import bus brings them back into the network. It's making them. There you go. So I hope that was useful. Any comments or questions, please let me know, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.